Falling down on the ground is a concern for lots of people, especially the elderly. Inventions have been made like Life Alert, where they wear a pendant that you can press a button and that will alert the local police or the fire department and send some help over to get you up off of the floor. But what happens if the connection isn't good, the signal doesn't get through, or the battery has run out and you don't know it, that you haven't stayed on top of keeping that current? You're basically on your own. So if you're out in the middle of a field somewhere, you don't have the advantage of furniture. Some people I've heard will fall down and they'll crawl to furniture using a couch or a chair to get themselves up. But if you're out in a place where there's nothing nearby, maybe you're on a hike in the middle of a field, first alert isn't working, you're in a situation where you really have to figure out how to get up without assistance. I'm going to show you two ways of doing this. The one is going to be the first and most logical way of putting a person on their stomach or getting on your stomach and rising from there. The other way is if you have difficulty getting to your stomach, maybe we're a little bit robust around the middle and we can't get to that position. There's another way to do it from a seated position. So I'm going to show you both of these. Obviously, if you have somebody there to help you, the second one, when I show you about from a seating position, will work better when you're trying to coordinate with another person lifting you up off the floor. All right, so the first one is basic. You're falling down, however that is, and you want to get yourself onto your stomach. So just roll over to the stomach. From here, use your hands to sit yourself up to your knees. Now, I have flexibility and strength and stretch from my years of martial arts, so I can sit like this, but most people won't have that ability. So when you get yourself up to this position, this is where you want to be mindful of how you're going to use your feet. Right now, my toes are in a down position. I'm going to want my toes in an up position. These are called live toes. These are called dead toes. Now, I'm showing you both feet at the same time, but you're really going to use one foot or the other, depending on whether you're right-handed or left-handed, and which leg you choose to stand up with. So from this position here, I'm going to remove my left hand because I'm going to choose to use my left leg. I'm going to bring my left leg up where my hand was, and I'm going to put my left hand on my knee. Now this is the thing that's important. If you look at my toes right now, these are called dead toes. If I try to raise myself up now with my toes in this position, it's very difficult. I'm depending on my muscles here to get me up. And again, older people won't have that particular strength. I have enough strength where I can actually raise myself up. That's an exception. So here's the key. You want to put your back toes into what's called live toes position like this. So once you get here, once you get to this and put the toes into a live toe position, the next thing you want to do is straighten up your body. Take your hand that gave you balance down here onto your other hand. Now, I talked before about how people will crawl to try to get to a sofa or a couch to use that to hoist themselves up. Well, if you're out in the middle of a field, you don't have that. And it's a long crawl to the closest thing where you might find a stone or a tree stump. Bottom line is, if you put this hand on top of this, this now becomes your couch or your chair or a tree stump or whatever. You're going to use your hands to push the upper body as if you were pushing off of a couch. So as you push up with your upper body, at the same time, you're going to use those live toes to lift yourself up off the floor. So this is what the mechanic is going to look like. Now you have two legs versus dead toes, one leg, live toes, two legs, and pressing up will get you up and on your feet. Okay, so that's the first methodology. Let's take a look at that from a couple more angles. So I've gotten over to my stomach, use my hands, lift up to your knees. I'm going to use the same leg that I used a second ago, just to keep consistency. So the right hand will be for balance. I'm going to bring the left foot forward, put my left hand on my knee. I'm going to go live toes in the back. I've got this for balance. I'm going to raise up, put this hand on my left hand. This is going to push my body. That's going to lift my foot, whole body at the same time. Two legs. Here we go. So push up and lift up. Then come to this. Take a look at it from the front. From here, inch your way up to your knees. Use your hands on the floor for stability. You're going to have to shift your weight over a little bit. So you got this hand here. Shift your weight over so you can bring this foot up, make it flat. Left hand goes on the left leg. Obviously, if I go here, some people the right leg is stronger, some people the left leg is stronger. You just decide which one works for you. And if you've never tested that, you can use this moment to find out if that's stronger or if that's stronger. All right, so going back to the basic, so I'm going to shift my weight a little bit so I can get my left leg up, put my left hand on my knee, put my right hand on my other hand. My toes are live in the back, and I'm ready to push up with both my feet and push up with my hands. So push up the body from the feet. Okay, let's take a look at another method. If a person is on their back, or if you're by yourself and you cannot get over to your stomach, maybe you're pregnant for all we know, you can't get to your stomach. So in this situation, you're going to maybe come halfway over to use your arms to get you up. You probably don't have enough strength to just sit up. So to get started, you don't have to go all the way to your stomach, but it'll be a little bit easier if you turn to your side, and then you can kind of work yourself up with your arms until you're seated like this. Now, here's the tricky part, or the part that you have to be mindful of. You'll notice that this leg is up on the floor flat, and this one is slightly bent. Now, depending on your flexibility, you want to take this leg and tuck it in and make it so that it's perpendicular to this foot here. So if I'm sitting like this, I want to take this leg and bring it in here as far as I can. Now, you may not have this flexibility, so we're just going to start here, because if you have this flexibility, that's fine. We have other solutions. But here's the principle. I'm going to go at an angle like this. If you look at this angle of my leg, it's square. It's straight ahead. If I'm over here, again, you can see I've got a 90-degree angle here. I want that 90-degree angle because I'm going to use the roundness of my shin to push my body in the direction 90 degrees to this leg. So if I'm pointing my hand, if I make my arm perpendicular to my leg, it's telling me push my body in that forward direction. You'll notice that once I do this, I start to roll over the roundness of my leg. Once I get over to this position here, I can now take this leg, bring it down, sort of square my feet off, and look, I'm in a seated position. Again, I have stretch, so what will happen for most of you is when you get up to here like this, you're going to be high up. Just put this foot down, shift your feet around a little bit, get them to this position that you got to when you were on your stomach method. Now everything else applies. If you need to bend over to get your balance here, that's cool. Bring this foot up, get live toes in the back, support, support, push the body, upper body, and lift the lower body at the same time, and now you're back on your feet. Now I showed you that once you were able to get to this seated position, how to take this leg and pull it in as far as you can. It might be that you don't have this kind of flexibility. Again, I've been doing martial arts all my life, so I have that flexibility. Let's say that I can only pull the leg in that far, very little. Okay? Here's a front view. So I fall down, I sit up, I pull the leg, and that's it. It will not come in this far. It will only go this far. Here's the key. Take your hand and make it perpendicular to the leg that you've pulled in. Point in the direction that you're going to roll over this leg. So if my fingers are perpendicular to this leg, it's telling me that when I go to get up, I'm going to roll in that direction. So that once I get here, I can now start the rest of the process. So from a different angle, I fall down, I roll over, I get up as best as I can here. Should be able to do this. I can only pull this leg in that far. Now, understand, you're going to feel some pressure on this leg when you move over this shin. But we're going to take advantage of the fact that the shin is round. And that's what we're doing. So point in the direction that's perpendicular to give you a hint as to which way you're going to move your body. So I'm going to move my body this way, bring this foot down, and get to this position here. Then I'm going to decide which leg to use. Since I like to favor my left leg to get up, I'm going to keep my right hand here. Get this on the knee. Put this on the knee. Very important, live toes. Do not let them stay like this. Put them like this. Now you're going to push the upper body with your hands, and you're going to push the lower body with both of your legs, and stand up. If you're with somebody, or you get a call because your neighbors are elderly and they need help, try the roll to the stomach first. Show them how you're doing it. See if they can mimic what you're doing. If they can't do that, for whatever reason, then do the second approach. And everything's the same as I showed you, with the only exception being this. Is after you help the person get to this position, and you tuck this leg to determine how far in you can bring it, and you decide this is the direction you're going to pull them, then make sure you're standing in line with this direction, and have them bring their hand. So their hand should also be perpendicular to this bent leg. You don't have to bend over, because the length of your arm and the length of their arm will keep you from hurting your back. You'll be able to bend your knees and use your quads to lift them up. So if they're reaching up like this, you're going to pull them in that direction. Once you get them to here, you can help them set to this. Then the rest is exactly what you saw before. Support here, support here, support here, live toes, push up, stand up. So hopefully that will save some lives, take the fear of falling away, that sort of thing. If you're the person that's helping another get up, I don't have a person here to help me with this part. Just remember that you don't want to bend over when you pull them towards the bent leg. Okay? When you bend over, you put your back at risk. What you want to do, if you're the person that's helping them up, is you want to squat down and lean. Now you can use your legs to hoist them up. So if they're kind of dead weight, because a lot of people, they'll offer the arm, but they don't offer any muscular support. You really need them to give you resistance in that arm and to tighten up their muscles so you can pull them like a board one unit. However, if they're kind of limpy and stuff like that, you can still, because of this bent leg, you can still pull them up as long as you use these and not this. You never want to use your back, you want to use your thighs. So if their arms are limp, you can still bring them up, even though they're slightly dead weight. They will now be in a position to be on their knees. You might have to cradle them to help them when they're in this position here. When they're ready to go, you might have to wrap your arms around them, their trunk, and as they lift themselves, you help lift them up too. But notice, you don't want to be here bent like this. You want to come at an angle like this and use your legs to hoist them up. It's going to be a little awkward, but their lives won't be at risk. And that's what we want to see. Okay, so I hope that's helpful to you. If you feel like I'm missing something, throw some comments below this video. Thank you, and be safe.